mistake happens in the meeting. The team is staring at the screen, watching as someone explains how the new workflow will save an hour per day. They nod along, they agree. Then they all get back to their desks and nothing changes. That's because the first rule of automation is that you don't automate until you have a clean SOP built on rules. The second rule is that you don't automate anything unless it's a high-frequency, low-judgment step. The third rule is that if you don't build a dashboard, your manager sees no value in your work. And the fourth rule, you can't automate everything at once. That's what everyone gets wrong. That's why they end up with an unused system, a silent machine, and a boss who thinks you're just less busy. This is Work Yourself Out of a Job, the show about building systems that make you redundant. I'm Mikey, and today we're talking automation, dashboard, and the real way to build systems that actually work. This isn't a theory session. This is the actual process from the lesson. Here's what the core idea is. Automate rules, not tasks. The moment you build a clean SOP, a step-by-step procedure with clear conditions and outputs, then automation becomes your payoff. That's not how people think about it, though. They see a task they do. They want to make it go faster, so they throw an automation tool at it without the foundation. They're doing the same mistake over and over, and it costs them time, credibility, and control of their own work. The real automation comes from cleaning up your processes first. The how starts with that 80 or 20 rule. What's your highest frequency step? What's your lowest judgment task? That's where you start, not the thing that sounds important but happens once a month. It's not enough to automate steps that require thought or decision making. The ones that are routine, data-driven, and repeated, those are what get automated. And when you do automate them, you don't just make the machine run. You build the dashboard to make it visible. The dashboard is not optional. The dashboard is the part that makes it legible. A machine nobody can see gets you no credit. If you run a system that saves time but doesn't show it, your manager sees less work for you. They don't see a system running. They don't see productivity. They see you doing less, not a system doing more. Here's the actual process of building your dashboard. First, define what you're measuring. If you're automating data entry, track how many entries were processed, how much time was saved, and how often errors occurred. If it's email routing, track response times, volume handled, and accuracy of assignment. The key is that it has to be clear, it has to be tracked, and it has to show a connection to the system you built. Then choose your tools. It doesn't have to be Power BI or Tableau. It can be a Google Sheet or an Excel file with charts and auto-populated cells. The only requirement is that it tells the story. If it's too complex, if it's hard to read, if it changes every time someone touches it, then it stops being useful. And remember, you're not building this for yourself alone. You're building it for your manager so they can see the value when it's time to talk about what you've accomplished. That means showing clear metrics that relate directly to how much time or effort you saved, how many more things you can now handle, and what kind of impact the system is having. That's why automation priority check matters. If you don't know where to start, ask, what do I do 50 times a week, and what can I do with no judgment? What is the biggest return on investment for me right now? The takeaway is simple but powerful. Automate the highest frequency, lowest judgment steps first. Build your dashboard even if it's a single spreadsheet. Don't automate everything at once. Build the foundation first. The system you're creating is invisible without a dashboard, so make sure it shows value. Here's what people get wrong and why it costs them. They try to automate creative tasks or strategic decisions. That's not where automation lives. Automation handles routine work, not thinking work. They don't build the clean SOP first, so they end up with an automated mess. It runs but doesn't actually save time or reduce errors. They skip the dashboard entirely. A machine that runs silently gets no credit. It just looks like you're doing less work. That's how managers think of automation. It has to be visible and measurable to matter. If you don't show what it's saving, how much it's producing, or how efficient it is, your manager can't justify investing in more automation. They try to build the whole system at once. They automate everything, or they try to get fancy with tools instead of building the right foundation first. This creates a broken dashboard or no dashboard at all because there's no clear data point to show for anything. A simple spreadsheet that tracks one task is better than no tracking at all. They don't invest the freed time into the next step. That's the compounding part. Automation isn't just about freeing up hours. It's about taking those hours and building a new system or investing in something that needs attention. If you free yourself from data entry but never automate the next thing, you never build momentum, and they don't involve their manager early on. You want your dashboard to make sense to them, not just to you. That means asking what matters to them, how they measure success, and making sure your dashboard shows those metrics clearly. If they're not seeing it, then you've built a system that's invisible. Automation without the right foundation is just moving around the same old problems. Automation with a dashboard makes it visible, which means it becomes valuable. The first step is identifying your high-frequency, low-judgment tasks. Then build your SOP, automate those steps, and create a dashboard that shows your manager exactly what you're accomplishing. The time you save needs to be reinvested into the next system. That's how you actually become redundant, not just less busy. If this one earned its time, the full system is inside the course at learn.mikey.ai. I'm Mikey. Build systems that do your job for you and show everyone why.